What's up, V2 crew? This is Unknown here, and this is going to be another episode in the series, Is It Killing Your Games? And today's topic, we're going to talk a little bit about the sunk cost fallacy. So, what is sunk cost? So I looked it up online. Definition: a sunk cost is a cost that has already occurred and cannot be recovered by any means. Sunk costs are independent of any event and should not be considered when making future decisions. So, this can come into play in several ways in regards to games. It can cause you to continue to play games even after you're no longer having fun because the amount of time you spent on it or the amount of money you spent on it. Maybe you just bought the game and it's sitting there, sitting in your digital library or sitting on your shelf, and you feel like you need to play it just because you bought it and just because it's there. But it's there. You already spent the money on it, right? So it's not like beating it's gonna get you the money back. Or it could be you started a game and think, well, I started it, I might as well finish it. That could happen as well. Or maybe you did some certain long or hard achievement or got some trophy in the game that you're really proud of, or got some high rank in the game. So you keep playing the game even though you're not really enjoying it that much, but hey, you're ranked number 3 in Call of Duty or something like that. So you just keep playing it because you're known for that and you want to stay up to be number 3. Could also be some account in a ecosystem. And I've talked about ecosystems in a different series. I mean, I'm talking about like the Sony ecosystem, the Xbox ecosystem, or Microsoft, I guess I should say. Maybe I should call it PlayStation ecosystem. But that's what I mean by ecosystem. So it's not just a single game at this point that you're thinking of the sunk cost for, but it'd be something like your PSN profile or your gamer score. And because of how many games you completed or your stats in that ecosystem, you don't want to go to other consoles because it's not going to help with those stats. So you want to keep sticking with PlayStation because, oh, all my stats carry over, or all the games I previously purchased digitally carry over, or something like that. It could be something in regards to getting you to buy another system, too. Could be influencing your future decisions, which is, the sunk cost fallacy. It could also be things like Pokemon collecting. You collected them over the years, so you got to continually transfer them over when a new version comes out. And you think, oh, how many I collected, how much time. I gotta keep them all, right? The new phrase. You don't gotta just catch them all. You gotta keep them all. And recently, this was kind of, I don't want to say taken advantage of, but okay, I feel like they might have taken advantage of this a bit, where they created something called Pokemon Home, and then they started charging you for it. So now it's like a storage locker for Pokemon and Pokemon transferring, and it has a fee, which is kind of ick, but they're trying to capitalize on that sunk cost fallacy, right? And I personally struggled a lot with sunk cost fallacy when I was trying to quit trophies. I kept thinking of how much time, how much money I put into them, how much I put into my account, how much I put into redoing games because the trophies glitched, or going back finishing games to get 100% profile, stuff like that. And also maintaining my leaderboard spot was a big sunk cost fallacy thing I had to overcome as well. Because I was around number 5 in the world for quite some time, and took a lot of effort to get there, and then it was just a point of maintaining it. And I wasn't really having fun anymore, but I just felt like that was kind of my thing, and I have to keep this up because of how much I put into it and how quote unquote special it is. I mean, if you've seen any of my other videos, you know the trophy system went kind of haywire, but that's a tale for a different time. So, like I said, very hard for me to overcome, and I still struggle with that to this day. But companies, yeah, they try to take advantage of the sunk costs to get you to buy more. Not only to buy their next system, if they're keeping you in that ecosystem, but maybe to re-log in and play a game, and they release some events. Oh, limited time events in Pokemon Go or whatever. And they slowly release content over time. Maybe it's DLC expansions for Final Fantasy 14 or something like that. And then it just gets you to think, oh, I already put so much into this character. I don't really want to play this game, but alright, let's do it. Could also be DLC for games because they attach trophies or achievements to it. This I had a kind of an issue with. I would always buy the DLCs, get all the DLCs just to keep my 100% in the game and on my profile. So, lessons learned from this. What's spent is spent already, guys. You might have bought a game, maybe it's in your backlog, but they're already there. The money's already spent. It's not like beating them is going to get you your money back or anything. And it's still going to be a time thing that you're paying for. So you haven't fully paid for the game in a sense, if you think about it, because you still have that time that you could be spent playing some other game, right? And there might be games that you would rather play that are just more fun. We got so many games nowadays, right? That you should just be playing like the most fun, best of the best, in my opinion. Because there's just even going to be more games coming out. So your time is a resource, guys. And like I said, you might have already spent the money on it, or you might have already spent a certain amount of time in another game, but you don't have to spend the time or the money and keep putting into that game if you're not enjoying it all that much. Now, if you're enjoying it, go ahead by all means. But and same thing with a gaming profile. You might be considering continuing to spend your time and money on in that ecosystem, even though you're not really liking it all that much anymore. And like I said before, realize companies do try to use this to get you to buy their DLC, get you to continue to play even their free-to-play games online, so they just have more of a community rolling in, so it still keeps it active, so people buy their microtransactions in the game. And giving into sunk costs, that is not gaming on your own terms. That is like the opposite of gaming on your own terms. Because then you're playing games for outside influences, which is how much time and money you spent on the game already or in the ecosystem. Game on your own terms, guys. Make your own decisions. Don't be clouded by sunk cost. Alright, well, what are your thoughts on sunk cost fallacy? Have you fallen victim to it? Is it something you struggle with? I mean, I personally struggled with it a lot. I still do. Being a completionist, if I start a game, I still feel kind of a outside pull to complete everything in the game, even if the game's not the funnest anymore. I mean, I still have a little bit of work to do in this department myself, I will admit. I have been able to drop a few games I started just because I wasn't really enjoying them. And I think not having that 100% profile, like, oh, I started it, I have to finish it, sunk cost high there, has helped. So what are games that you guys decided to drop maybe? Or what are some games that you stuck through just because the cost of the time you put in already or the money? And if anyone can think of any positives to sunk cost, because I can't really personally. I'd like to know, I'd be curious if you can think of anything. Maybe you abandoned also some gamer profile or something. I don't know, I'd like to hear your stories. So, with that being said, I will wrap things up here. If you want to join the V2 crew and like, comment, and subscribe, that would be awesome. I'll post some links in the description below. Everybody have a good night, good morning. Enjoy your games. Thanks so much for watching. Spread that positivity. Game on your own terms. You do you and be your V2.